The future of racing is here. F-Zero, an intergalactic Grand Prix, uses machines that weigh more than a ton, reach dash speeds of over 500 kilometers an hour, and hover a mere 12 inches off the ground. Choose from the heroic Captain Falcon or the suave Dr. Stewart. Need more choices? Then try the sly alien Pico or the not-so-honest samurai Goro. And race for intergalactic fame and fabulous fortune in the F-Zero Grand Prix. And this is, of course, F-Zero for the Super Nintendo, of course. Released in 1991 over here in America, was the first of the F-Zero series that has kind of gone on to be quite a thing, even though not much has been done with it lately. F-Zero was one of 2 launch titles along with Super Mario World in Japan, but was accompanied by additional initial release titles in North America like SimCity, Gradius, Pilot Wings, games we've already talked about and looked at. How about that? This was developed by Nintendo EAD and took them a little over a year to do. The game takes place in the year 2560, where multi-billionaires with lethargic lifestyles created a new form of entertainment based on Formula One races called F-Zero. The player can choose between 1 of 4 characters in the game, each with their respective hover car. The player can then race against computer-controlled characters in 15 tracks divided into 3 leagues. F-Zero has been acknowledged by critics as one of the greatest video games of all time, as well for setting the standard for the racing genre and the creation of its futuristic sub-genre. Critics lauded F-Zero for its fast and challenging gameplay, variety of tracks, and extensive use of the graphical mode, Mode 7. This graphics rendering technique was an innovative technological achievement at the time that made racing games more realistic, the first of which was F-Zero. As a result, IGN credited it for reinvigorating the genre and inspiring the future creation of numerous racing games. In retrospective news of the game, critics agreed that should have used a multiplayer mode. That was probably going to be too much, I think, for this game at this time on this system. I think multiplayer would have been a little too much. F-Zero is a futuristic racing game. How about that? Race consists of 5 laps around a track where we ride our futuristic hover cars to beat all the opponents and reach the finish line while avoiding hazards such as slip zone and magnets that pull you off-center in an effort to make you damage your vehicle or fall off the track. Each machine has a power meter which served as a measurement of the machine's durability, kind of like a life bar. It decreases when the machine collides with landmines, the side of the track, or another vehicle, and can be replenished by driving over pit areas along the home straight or nearby. F-Zero was produced by Shigeru Miyamoto and directed by Kazunori Shimizu, who also worked on the art. Takai Imamura, one of the art designers for the game, was surprised to be able to so freely design F-Zero's characters and courses as he wanted it since his first game. Yasunori Nishida served as main programmer. A total of 9 people, including 3 programmers, worked in-house on F-Zero, and it was common practice for personnel to take on multiple roles for Super Nintendo game development. F-Zero was widely lauded by game critics for its graphical realism and has been called the fastest and most fluid pseudo-3D racing game of its time. This has been mostly credited to the development team's pervasive use of the Mode 7 system. Eurogamer's Tom Bramwell commented the abundance of Mode 7 was unheard of for the SNES. The graphics rendering technique was an innovative technological achievement at the time that made racing games more realistic, the first of which was F-Zero. Jeremy Parrish of Electronic Gaming Monthly wrote that the game's use of Mode 7 created the, quote, most convincing racetrack that had ever been seen on a home console. That it gave console gamers an experience even more visceral than can be found in arcades. OneUp.com editor Ravi Hiranand agreed, arguing F-Zero's combination of fast-paced racing and free range of motion were superior compared to that of previous home console games. IGN's Pierre Schneider assured readers F-Zero was one of the few 16-bit era video games to, quote, perfectly combine presentation and functionality to create a completely new gaming experience. Me, I don't like racing games. I do not care for racing games, much like I don't care for sports games, which is unfortunate because that's coming up here in the series too. But I don't really care for racing games, and I don't really care for F-Zero. That's blasphemy to some people. But I tell you, sitting down and I played Hyperzone and I played F-Zero for this, I had more fun playing Hyperzone. But it was much more of a action shooter kind of thing than just a straight racer. Mode 7 was a big deal, it was a huge deal, and F-Zero's use of it really catapulted it into where it is now. Unfortunately, as we said, they haven't done much with the game for a long time now other than putting Captain Falcon in every Smash Brothers ever.